find a room anywhere, enough to lie down, and you stay there until the rise of the sun. That's on the 9th. Now that becomes 10th the next day. That is the main day of Hajj. On the 10th here in Australia and other part of the world, we slaughter an animal, a goat or a sheep, like Abraham did when he was ordered to sacrifice his son. So we make sacrifice in Australia on the 10th. On the 10th they also sacrifice in Mecca. Then there is removal of your hair. The male, they just get it shaved. I got it shaved completely. The ladies are asked to cut at the end of their hair that length only. You don't shave them. And then that part is in. And by the way, on the 8th, you change your garment. Let me just go back a bit. You take this away. You might have seen in the film that all these people on Hajj, on the pilgrimage, are wearing white, like a skirt, and the top. So it's a toweling that is available. On the 8th, you put on that. So you keep it on 8, 9, and 10. 3 days. You have it on all the time, 24 hours, and no undergarment. So the male just completely takes their underwears and everything else. It's like a sarong. You wrap it around you. It's big enough to wrap it around twice, and we get a belt to tie it up so it won't slip down. And then the other thing is like a shawl. You throw it over your neck and keep it. The ladies are allowed to wear whatever, like any color, any garment they want to wear fully. So after the 10th, after your sacrifice has been done, see what happened over here, we do it ourselves physically. Over there you don't see it anymore. You pay someone else and someone else will sacrifice, and then they will advise you that your sacrifice has been performed. This is when you go and get your hair cut. Then you go and, I said somewhere else here, you pelt a tomb-like thing.
Good afternoon, students. With Zachary Scott.
When Abraham was
please report to the RTC. Zachary Scott. Please report to the RTC.
And said
Thank
that,
you.
You know where your father is taking you? And he said, yes, I know my father is taking me, where he is taking me. So he said, he's going to sacrifice you in the name of God. So he said, if he's given the order, then let it be. So he took out the stone and pelted the Satan. So we just reenact that. 7 stones. No, we pick up 21 stones in Muzdalfa, the place where we spend the night of the 9th. We pick it up and we take a little bag with us from home, sewn up, and we have 21 stones. And that got to be, it's prescribed that it has to be the size of a chickpea, not larger. So, and then you 7 pelt. When I went the first time in 1994, we went out after we were announced that your sacrifice has been done. And after that, throwing the stone, we came back, and a friend of mine from Melbourne came out with a big gash. I said, what happened? Oh, I don't know, someone threw a big, slightly bigger stone and missed the target, missed the stone that was there, and he went through and he collected on his head. So that's why it said, and then you sort of hit like that. So those are the difficulties. Food is no problem at all. I don't know, God knows where all the 3 million people plus the food is, anything that you want to eat. One day we wanted to, the first time I went, we got so sick of curries and all that, roast chicken, we said, we want to eat fish. So we went to the marketplace, and there was fish there. how would you explain the purpose of Hajj? Well, the purpose of Hajj is fulfillment of your obligation to your Creator. And it is once in lifetime only. And Hajj, as I said earlier, it is one of the pillars of Islam. So you're fulfilling your pillars of Islam by you're doing other pillars also, like prayers, alms for the poor, and all that sort of thing. I felt privileged to have had the opportunity of performing Hajj. I know a lot of people who are rich, and I mean rich. They can afford to take with them the rest of their family to go Hajj, but they don't perform it and die, leave this world without performing Hajj. So how unfortunate those people are, and they will be answerable to the Creator that you had the means, I gave you the means, why didn't you perform the Hajj? And I felt quite privileged that I was chosen to perform the duty. It's a great feeling that you feel that you have fulfilled or endeavored to fulfill all of the obligations and duty. And come away with the hope that your Hajj is accepted. Where do you feel you are positioned with your religious? Well, partly what I've said, it covers it. I feel that everyone tries to do the best in their life, please God. So at the day of resurrection, that we stand, and I'm not accountable for your shortcomings. Number 10, one has to perform the best of the day. That's what we have covered that one. If you're talking about the symbols contained within the Hajj, the most significant symbol, to say, is when you enter the doors of this big courtyard. There are about four prominent doors that you can enter. And in front of you stands the Kaaba. You can imagine, when I went in there, I just stood still, I couldn't move. And the tears just rolled down my eyes. Something that I have been facing for in my life and praying. Here it is right in front of me. It is a black painted building with drapes hanging and Arabic words written in gold threads, pure gold threads. Each year it's changed, and the king himself comes and changes it. There are a group of people, and quite a few of them are handicapped people that are on wheelchair, but their hands are, and so they sit down and do all this threading of the letters that are on that. I don't know if you've heard of the word Zamzam, Z-A-M-Z-A-M, Zamzam. Zamzam is a spring. If one goes to the Bible, Abraham's second wife Hagar, which we call it Hajra, H-A-J-R, Hajra, Hagar, was left by Abraham on the site where Mecca is today, with hardly, as I said earlier, there was no civilization, even nothing at all. And she and her son, Ismail, who was only a baby, were left there, and no water, no nothing. And the child wanted to do something for the baby, and started crying. So she left the child and ran into between the two small mountains. We would call them a hill, about the size of this building in the height. So she ran between two. And the reason for running between two was to see if a caravan was passing at a distance, so she could run and ask for some water. And the child was still crying, she could hear him. And then suddenly the child stopped crying. And she thought of the worst, that I had lost my child. And when she came in, we all have experience, we've got younger brothers and sisters and nephews, and when the child cries, it hits his leg.